June 28th, 2024. Oh God. Still got better. Played a tape of this psychiatrist online explaining the difference between narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. Psychopaths, their part of the brain does not light up. That feels sympathy, empathy, remorse. Okay? They can feel anger, happy, joy, excitement. They can't feel sorry for you. They're the ones that hire serial killers. They have people harmed. Okay? That's the Vegas. They never grieved over that kid. They lied to people. That's where it even goes back to that kid's funeral. At the end of calling hours, he threw his body on the floor, screaming and kicking like a 3-year-old. They carried him out. A minute later, he walked in fine. That was an act. You don't get yourself together that quick. Because he just got everybody to feel sorry for him. Where her father was speeding, ran a stop sign into a semi, killed himself and their kid. He was angry that kid was dead. Don't know what it's like to feel sorry, not to grieve. But he's angry. So he puts on this big act. Over dramatic. Okay? People overdo for him. They like the attention and they're angry. They control these people now. They never grieve. They can't grieve. They were angry. There's a big difference. And like that psychiatrist online said, they're good chameleons. They can imitate. They can con people. They're the ones that hire killers, go through cartels. She's going on, and it describes them perfectly. And where my car's bugged from that FBI case, they hacked it and sold it. I've been playing her, describing the difference between narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. People have shut up. We know why that family did that. Because they're psychopaths. Exactly. So can you feel sorry? Now, you guys got to even think of this scenario. I have 6 to 10 surgeries. Going to pain management. I went to witch doctors. They may as well have their voodoo skirts on and needles to jab you. A voodoo doll. They almost killed me. My whole body swelled up. Gained 150 pounds. Thyroid shuts down adrenal gland. My heart valves enlarge. Having many heart attacks. My brain swells. I have brain tumors. They tell me I have epilepsy. They have induced seizures. There's nothing wrong with me but my muscle locked up. And they caused everything lying, ripping off my insurance. Took another doctor to tell them. Okay, and then over 9 months, almost a whole year, to slowly get well. Okay? Documented medical malpractice, documented medication errors. Started with Dr. Eli in November of 2002. First month, I lost 30 pounds. Second month, I'm pulling myself around stores and malls. Got so much pain, I ended up in the hospital. By the first to the third month, end of the second month, I could drive a car. Brain swelling was gone. Heart's back in rhythm. Still flutters at times. They actually damaged my heart. If I had turned them in, they had been in jail. Like Altman Family Physicians, whoa, we need to have a long talk what those doctors were doing. There's nothing wrong with you. They say I have epilepsy. Honey, the medicine's inducing this or the seizures. You don't have epilepsy. They say I have brain tumors. You have brain swelling from the medication. There's nothing wrong with you, but your muscles locked up. You have the golden ticket insurance company. That's how she put it. They're keeping you sick, making you come back, sharing with their associates and friends doing the same thing. They're ripping off your insurance. It pays for almost everything. getting kickbacks from the drug companies from $200 to $1,000. Per prescription. They're making you sick now, wanting to do unnecessary procedures. There's nothing wrong with you, but your muscles locked up. Get off the medication and be fine. They shut down my thyroid, my adrenal gland. They almost killed me. They wanted to remove part of my brain. There was nothing wrong with it. Do I claim anything they said? No, because it was fraud. Don't have to. Getting back to, it started November 2002. By April 2003, I'm almost well. I went from a 24 to a 16. Everybody's rooting me on at church. We see you out driving your car, pulling yourself up and down streets, stores, malls. You'll beat this on your own. Look how thin you got. May 3rd, 2003. We're all at home working on our home. There was a church baseball game. Okay. Phil was one of the lead cars. Brian showed up and told us. And he said that everybody couldn't believe he didn't even try to stop. Blew right through that stop sign into a semi, killed him and Tyler both. Tyler got ejected. I did speed ratios. He had to be doing way over 50 for that kid to get ejected. He was speeding with his grandkid in the car, blew through a stop sign into a semi. Her father killed her kid. Did that have anything to do with me and what I'd lived through the last 4 or 5 years? 6 to 10 surgeries. Muscles locking up, went to a bunch of crackpots for a couple years. And then 9 months to slowly get well. No. I finished getting well in July, 2 months later. I was almost well in April. Anything to do with anything? No. November of 2003. My sister Linda is married to Strange's kid, Tim. And she was out one day, caught him with Katie. So when he would leave, she'd follow him. She came up to me on a Wednesday night. I was following him again. I got caught. I think they thought it was you. I'm sorry. Be careful. Well, Strange made up that shitty lie. Oh, you're thinking through all that. It's documented medical malpractice and documented medication errors. Okay? I almost died. Take some more on. I talked to a criminal attorney. You can't fake that shit. No, you can't. I got MRI report showing the swelling, false diagnosis of level 2 brain tumors, blood work showing everything shut down, and a copy of the fentanyl patches. They don't get fentanyl to fakers. It's 100 times stronger than morphine. My muscles were locked tight from the surgeries. Like you said, I have to get you out enough pain to move those locked muscles. You move the locked muscles to relax, and as they relax, blood flow will get into them, then we can build new muscle tissue. The only thing's wrong with you is your muscles locked up from all those surgeries. Okay. Now, think of this scenario. Did I have anything to do with the Vegas tragedy? No. Did they have anything to do with Tim and Katie's adultery and Strange trying to cover it up, making up a shitty lie? No. So, 6 months later, somebody lies on me and they want attention out of it. Oh, feel sorry for us. He said a lie on her. It's insane. Like my neighbor Becky, it's insanity. Somebody saying something mean about you had nothing to do with their kid dying. Exactly. And then waiting 15 years to hunt me down, have the cartel drug beat and rape me and try to murder me. They manipulated everyone into helping out. That's what they said in 19. You can't feel sorry for somebody who's a serial killer hiring other killers to do their work for him and harming a victim that somebody just made up a lie on that had nothing to do with them. Told you it would be like where the terrorists took down the towers in 2001. 6 months later, the families get together and do a prayer vigil. Some ass walk up and say, hey, did you know that lady was faking in that apartment building during that? They say, get the hell out of our face. Show some respect. That woman, I don't know what your beef is with her. But she has nothing to do with this. Nothing. Exactly. See, that takes common sense. That's where talking to Becky, my neighbor, I said when her husband Harry died, 6 months later, if they said Amy across the street in a wheelchair was faking, would you hate her? She said why? She had nothing to do with Harry's death. Would you wait 15 years and hunt her down and have people drug, beat, and rape her and try to kill her? She's like, Karen, that's insane. That's just insanity. Just because somebody said something mean about somebody 15 years before had nothing to do with anything, to have somebody drug, beat, and raped, and then try to have them murdered is insanity. Exactly. Get it? Just like Katie, I heard it was Katie in there saying I was mean to her. I hadn't talked to her in 7 years. Get it? Insanity. They're manipulating people. It's an occult, killing people, making up the most pathetic excuses. I want you to think about that. I'm hoping that Officer Mark or John pulls Walmart on the strip on last Sunday. I talked to a wife of one of the sheriffs. Her husband had passed away, and she was out walking in the park. She said, if the law enforcement doesn't do their job, the cartel will get even with those people for their men going to jail. They'll take care of them because it's not worth their men going to jail. So that guy implemented, telling on them for hiring their men. Over 1,000 of their men are in jail. They would want them to sit next to them. I'm in Walmart in Belden on the strip, okay? Some guy outside my car is walking back and forth. They think that Karen's Will stupid. They all think he's stupid. That's what's going on. I go in and buy the canned vegetable aisle, okay? There's a guy, white with black hair and black beard. He's talking in English and the other guy's talking in another language, and he's got him on speaker. I listened to what was wrong with her before and what was actually wrong. I don't think it's funny, that family hiring our men to do all those things to her and then have our people show up and say stuff to her. I found out what was really wrong with her. I know they were grieving. But I know what was wrong with her, and I'll tell you what, I don't find it funny. Them hiring our men to do all those things to her, and the other guy's talking in another language that he's talking to. And then have them do all those things to her. And then have our people show up and say stuff to her. I told them if they see her out, they better not say a word to her. And I told that family I didn't think they were funny, hiring our men. I listened to where it led up to her calling for help, and I don't blame her for calling for help. And people run around making fun of her for calling for help. I don't blame her. I would have called for help. And he's telling him, and the guy's talking another language. So finding out who he is, like people said in North Canton. Now it's funny, that other guy on the phone was talking in another language. It may have been one of the drug lords. Or somebody big. But he works for him. He looked Middle Eastern. That's how not funny this is. And that's where people in North Canton know this is funny. Oh, and he told them, do you think that they wouldn't want them in jail for their 1,000 of men going to jail? If you hire somebody to destroy somebody, harm them or kill them, it's hiring a hitman. It's 1 to 10 years. They get hurt, it's 20. They die, it's life. It's a federal law. My one friend, his family member is a sitting judge in Ohio. He had talked to her. You can actually prove you were in my home before. You're going to go to jail a long time. You can't be in somebody's home. You can't be hired to stalk someone. You go to jail. Let alone, like I said, because they've admitted to taking naked pictures of me. You go to jail a long time. It's like 1 to 10 years. And then when you try to extort money out of it, altered or not, it's 12 to 15. It's sextortion. Without the drugs, the kidnapping, the rape, the human trafficking, the assault with a deadly weapon, attempt to murder. And then these people admitted they sold my grandkids going potty on kiddie porn sites. And you're helping child molesters and rapists? You're helping, like they said, they all know it was a cartel in my home. They've hired the drug cartel. Of all things, the drug cartel. Was a cartel in my home before. What was it, like April 26th, I was in Walmart on the Strip again. That wasn't oh, let's get back to Sunday too. There was a guy in there. He said, I listened to the recorded line. That agent did admit to telling on her before. He did talk to her like that. Okay? And he's trying to say she called her sister. And that's why he didn't help her. He can't do that. No, he can't. See, I told you all the way up to leading up to calling the FBI, the 4 attempts on my life, the people showing up to threaten to knife me, another stalker showing up, them how I didn't hang up on a phone call of them taking out $25,000 as Keith Bishop, stranger and Ron, because Ron wants me dead, because he's a serial killer, because of Stranger's Life. Dave holding me down, how he hired 2 men to kill me for him and his girlfriend. Katie leaving threats in the mall with 3 people that had been in her church with the 4 attempts on my life trying to have me killed. Bragging to people in the mall. They had him on the first day. Okay? And then the guy threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle and the other lady getting paid to watch me. Got away from him, then the What a Shame guy. And my sister Pam had been encouraging me over the last few weeks. Karen called the FBI. They'll take care of Dave and the churches for threatening your life and everything else. Call them and tell them. She kept telling me, call them. They'll take care of them. Okay? Well, I took it in Dave bragging how his girlfriend's family owned the police up there and I wouldn't be able to withstand. I told him it's not a communist country. It actually isn't. These people run around like it's a communist country. It really isn't. It really isn't. Nobody owns the place. And I took a day and prayed. I called the hotline. And then the next morning the phone was ringing and they drug me up so bad I couldn't wake up all the way. Rivers of tears and da-da-da-da-da. And then he left a voicemail, and then later on I listened to it, and then the next day I'm not much better, and the third day I made myself get up and got enough air in my face and to clear my head enough to call one of my witnesses. Of course, I'll witness for you, and I went out and bought her card, put that agent's number in it, went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. He was telling on me, and it was Agent John. They either call him Will or John. It's verified by the police up there. Dave told Danny he talked to him, and on a recorded line, he admitted. He talked to him, act like a crazy call person. Made me beg for my life. Acknowledged over 4 times that he met with everybody. Okay? On a recorded line. Well, and then listed me informant with money and immunity for life. Okay? Then threatened me if I told. Next morning, I called Dixie. Now, everybody in my family knows they're threatening my life. They know all about the attempts. Okay? Called Dixie. I need you to stay out. It's about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, but Karen, I'm scared for you. They're threatening your life. I know that. I heard the word, kill it. And I'm like, Dixie, no matter what, stay out of this. I'm home alone. Out in the middle of nowhere. I heard footsteps coming towards my door. I I'm dead in a few seconds. I don't even have time to get out. I'm dead. I'm like, Dixie, promise me no matter what, you stay out of this. But Karen, they're threatening your life. I'm scared for you. I said, I'm scared too. But promise me no matter what, you stay out of this. You hear me? No matter what happens, you stay out of this. And she's like, but Karen, I'm scared. I'm scared too. Men, that's not what's going on. And then they scatter everybody out, and they scatter out. People had broken my house. Hard telling what they told them. And if they wouldn't have heard me crying over the threats on my life, hard telling what had happened. I wait a few hours. I call my sister. She's like, did you call the FBI on Dave and those churches? And I said, Pam, this is crazy. One's already told on me. There's men outside before making fun of me with a copy of my phone, mocking me for what he saw. It's a child's book. Kept my notes under me. That crossword puzzle I made up of notes. It's a child's book. The men on the other side of the duplex, that's wiretapping. It's illegal to have a copy of somebody's home, but protective custody cases where you're working for law. It's entrapment. You have to have a court order to get a copy of somebody's phone. It's right to privacy. It was a cartel. They didn't even know what a child's book was. Okay? I said I would have to get a prepaid phone and call you at work. It's actually this crazy. She's like, what? I said, never mind. I'm a big girl. I can handle this. Stay out of this. At 21, I went down and see my sister in Illinois. I said, I called the FBI and Dave in the churches. When did you do that? I said 18. I didn't realize. She didn't understand what I said. She didn't understand. Where he admits on a recorded line. I tell him someone told on me. He told the Apostolic Church of Barberton. He knew I was being drug raped or Pamer when we walk in. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off as he's still screaming, how dare you bring the FBI up here with threats on her life. I walk off, women come up, she's being raped, and he said he didn't care. I had bruises all over me, throwing up, heart racing, personally infected. I thought it was a well water killing me. My heart's sinking in my stomach. Is that what's going on? I go in and sit down. They follow me. She's being raped, and he said he didn't care. If she was going to be faking she was sick, and faking she got well. Well, that family was grieving. He didn't care what they did to her. And if she was going to be mean to their women, the ones I didn't talk to, it was a medication error, medical malpractice almost coming. They're just making up shit, blowing smoke up his ass. He didn't care what they did to her, and he was going to turn her back over to him. Dave comes in, let's go. Get out in the car. How dare you call the FBI on me? I'd have killed you myself. Goes for a loaded gun, put my hand on the console so I couldn't open it, and he knocks it off and he punches me all the way home. I almost jumped out on the highway. Ran from my home. Called the agent next day. Tell him on a recorded line somebody told on me. Calls me a liar. I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. Was there camera by that? I don't know. I said, well, you tried to kidnap me. Terry seen him. And I went to say Terry seen him. When he's like, oh, come on now. I met with those church people. And I met with that family in my office that lost their kid in a traffic accident. 15 years before that, her father killed her kid. And they're just making up stuff to kill people. Those people. And I know they're trying to kill you because you were faking you were sick and faking you got well while that family was grieving. You gotta be kidding me. You'd fall for that. It's like, look, I really was sick. You liar. Was there a camera above the bench or not? I don't know. See, you're lying. I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? He screams it again. It's like, see it, I'll arrest you. It's like, fine, whatever. Ha, 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 ha. What did you just say? He told on me. Now I want you to say you're fake and you're sick. Well, that's ridiculous. I said I really was sick before. I've had that family in my office. That lost their kid in a traffic accident. I've met with all those church people. And I know they're trying to kill you because you were faking you were sick and faking you got well. Well, that family was grave and you need to realize what you've done. It's like, look, I really was sick. I don't blame him for trying to kill you. He actually says that. It's like, I was really sick before. He's like, you either say it or I'll leave you there. It's like, they're going to kill me. So, they've tried to kill me. So? Like, murder's not good enough. Now, you either say it or I will leave you there. And he's screaming, and I'm begging this man for my life. And he's like, say it or I'll leave you there. It's like, fine, just don't let him kill me. Ha, 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 ha. Give me a real reason. Well, they're going to try to kill me, so. They've tried to kill me, so. And the other agent yells out, well, we could use the scam of Pete, the rapist that had been drugging me up, and where the first 45 days of the case, where I had bruises all over me, throwing up, heart racing, migraine headache, and a severe personal infection, seen by Altman family physicians all summer long, and nobody's thinking of rapist. They're treating all the symptoms of being drug beat and raped. I'll tell you what, within the first 45 days of the case, some old man showed up at Wood Forest in Walmart. For every idle word you're telling us, I'll turn it on you. I'm like, who are you? You try to leave Dave, I'll list your child molester. I'm like, who are you? You know that bruise on your leg? It was at least that big. Double that in size. It's half a lemon. Another big bruise on me. I was sick that morning. I used sodium pentothal. It's been outlawed in the country since 2011. He stabbed me with a date rape drug. You know what you told me? And then it's something about a wrong nightgown and bending over improperly and accidentally seeing your butt, a life of pain. And I'm looking at him like, who the hell are you? And you try to leave Dave, I'll list your child molester for that. First 45 days, they had a man admitting he worked for Dave and he was drugging me up and telling me to say lies. Had Dave debunk it, went home. He verified I was dressed modestly and they only made fun of the back of my knees. Like they said, we found out some old ass was drugging up Karen before. No, that agent, we could always use Pete's tape of Weird With Yourself, the shower scene in the other room. They admitted. Several places laughed at the agent for falling for it. June 7th, 23, publicly mocked him. I said, what are you talking about? The only Pete I know is my brother Medina. He's talking about my rapist. Making fun of me for my rapist running a scam. A sex extortion scam. And I don't even know who he is. And that federal cop is making fun of me for my rapist that I don't know who he is. Running a scam on me. Like they said, the FBI made fun of her for being drugged, being raped. The FBI made fun of her for being human trafficked. And they were using amnesia drugs and she wasn't realizing everything was happening to her. They need to take care of those idiots. Teenagers were pissed last year. We listened to the recorded line. Okay? Then they say something else about Pete. I have never met him. I'm like, what are you talking about? Stop, she don't know. I bet you don't know about this doctor selling your information. Found out December 30th, 23. Altman Hospital denouncing that some guy saying he's a doctor from Altman Hospital selling people's information. The hospital gets sued. HIPAA violations, 1 to 5 and $250,000 fine. That's how much they couldn't talk to him. It's a scam. Another cartel person. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I had some lady use my insurance from the second year on for years and years and years. And she ran up all kinds of bills, stayed in the hospitals. We reported insurance fraud, and because back then you didn't have to show ID, we couldn't prove it wasn't me, and I got stuck with the copays. Our insurance paid for 80% of almost everything. At least 80%. That's why those doctors, like I said, they're using it like a checking account. They're draining. They're just keeping you sick so they can make the money off that account. Okay. So, let's see. I tell him I don't know what he's talking about. Stop, she don't know. Give me a real reason. Well, my brother-in-law, Craig, worked for the government and died. I tell him who he is. Well, have you talked to any law enforcement up here? I said the only 2 law enforcement I ever talked to was, I either call them silly or stupid. They showed up at 8/8/18 with a light in the security system. I called 911, and they told me it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and it was hot, and I thought they were dehydrated, offering water. Then they told me to buy a big dog and open the door and let the dog handle it. They didn't want bothered if somebody else came on my property. You're kidding, right? I said no. And then he offers to take me somewhere and leave me with no money. Then he offers me the informant program if I got information on Dave and the churches. Of the $5,000 a month, nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you, and only for you. What we ever do this for, we'll always put it back as if it never happened, and you can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. Admit to no wrongdoing, and I'll take care of everything in the end. But if you try to tell someone all this, you're crazy, and no one can help you. 14th Amendment, you cannot withhold protection. It's illegal. Okay? Cannot seize somebody's money, but due process of the law, you have to be found guilty and sued for it. You can't just embezzle money out of an account. Okay. First Amendment, it takes a judge to put a gag order on you. Like where a criminal attorney, the guy from the Stark County Prosecutor's Office, what these people did is a fraud scheme. Photoshopping of showering and then drugging somebody where you had bruises you couldn't explain, throwing up, heart racing. They probably were drugging, beating, raping you. You had all the symptoms. And they probably were drugging you up until you say something stupid. They did the biggest mistake. They did it in your home. It's the right to privacy. Nobody could be in your home before. It's what the criminal attorney said and the police out in this area. They were to be arrested the first day. First Amendment takes a judge to put a gag order on you. Police don't have that kind of authority. Takes a judge. Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person. No one can touch you unless you want them to, or it's an assault. Okay? Your papers, places, and homes and effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. Your home can't be violated. No searches, no seizures, but upon probable cause warranted, you have to have a court order of the people, places, and things to be searched and seized. Okay. To actually monitor you in your home, because you have a right to remain quiet, and a right to an attorney, and a right to a fair court trial and bail and bond, and the right to privacy. They can only be in your home under a threat of life with statements. That's where Officer Reinhardt in Louisville, even the FBI would go to jail for being in your home outside to protect a light case with statements. That agent had to agree to protect you and have statements of the threat of life, or they couldn't be in your home. This whole thing is a big fraud scheme. By federal law, for Dave hiring Pete on his own, Dave told Danny he hired Pete on his own. He hired the drug cartel. There's a drug cartel in my home. See, that's where April 26, 24, on Walmart on the Strip, some guy walks in. I listened to the recorded line. That agent did admit to telling on her. And he did talk to her like that. They better do something about it. Officer in uniform shows up. Karen, I've been listening to all this today. We all know it was a drug cartel in your home before. Nobody else drugs anybody. I want to know how that guy said he heard it, because they've been hacked. Okay? He takes off, and then the guy for where the Stark County Sheriffs had made fun of Kurt for falling for all this in 21, he tells everybody to stay out of it. And he's telling people to stay out of it on the phone talking to somebody. And then Pam Strange and her granddaughter, how they were in it with Dave with the stocking tapes. People will bust out laughing. We walk out. Took her long enough to confess she was in it with Dave. Her kids better never verify it. Those people already admitted they made everything up on her. They photoshopped everything and drugged everything. And the police already have them defending her. That means they were in it with Dave trying to kill her the whole time and help cover it up. The police better arrest him. Oh, definitely. People died. Around Thanksgiving of 18, where Melissa got caught telling the kids to lie, my ex-daughter-in-law, okay? And on Thanksgiving of 18, that they made everything up to Flora. They were games of pretend, and they wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Papa, okay? Laughing in the basement. Right after that, in Walmart 62, the undercover police show up. Why are they having all those kids make all that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her out of the house. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke very highly of her. Now it's not in Walmart. They were the ones, June 23rd to July 4th of 21. Walmart 62, what are these people talking about? We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She never hurt anybody. Girls that dated the drug dealers. Oh my goodness, the boys had to drug her to make her say that stuff. Nobody mentioned those tapes again. Okay, they were the ones, March 23rd, 23 in Walmart 62. We told these people to stay out of this. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. And it's just some woman trying to make money out of this. That's it. See, that agent opened a real case with statements, money, immunity. He stole over $350,000 and fed me to the cartel. You know what's something? Where they showed up and they were admitting they drugged me and told me to say everything. And I had all the signs of being drugged, being raped, lost 18 pounds before the FBI. Think it's scary movie shit. Sexual predator, serial rapist breaking in your home, stabbing you with needles, drug being raped, and you wake up and you don't even know what happened to you. Go to the doctor, I don't know what's wrong with me. They're amnesia drugs. You've been drugged up and told to say stuff. They've been stalking you, selling you on porn sites, photoshopping shower scenes. And a sextortion act by the cartel, roofie confessions, and you're covered in bruises, infected, almost passing out, migraine headache. Think it's funny hurting someone like that? It's very sick. Sick shit. There is nothing funny about that. And the poor victim doesn't understand what's happening because they're amnesia drugs and going to the doctor. What's wrong with me? You have all the signs because you never talked to anybody. Never seen anybody, a serial rapist praying in their home. Like the Stark County guy from the Stark County Prosecutor's Office of Fraud Scheme. They did the biggest mistake. They did it in your home. But they kept saying it's funny she don't know what we're doing. And then they're coming up, we photoshopped all our lives. We photoshopped a feminine wipey above the toilet in the other room to make you look weird. We photoshopped a shower scene in washing to make you look weird. We erased some guy named Chris in our room. I never had a Chris in my house. And they come up, and how they frame me? They minute frame me. Told more than 10 people. Made it public. They had framed me. They're using me as a pawn. But she doesn't know what we're actually doing. In 19, they finally say, one of the guys that said, look, work for the drug lords, said they're exposing corrupt law enforcement in this area publicly. And then later on, they set him up. They set him up to be arrested. They set up Agent John. They were talking about all last week how they set up that agent. Think about that. Bunch of drug dealers set up that agent. They have talked about from Hartville to Akron. They were taken down and fed. That's why they all helped out. I told you, Sunday, they need to find out who that guy is, who he was talking to. On Walmart on the Strip, 11:30 to 12:40 p.m. They tape an audio in every aisle, and my phone's tapped by the police. They have a recording of it. You're gonna have to get someone who speaks other language. I bet it was a racketeerist. For we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. He sent us here to help. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. He's a fentanyl king if you look him up. U.S. military, Iraqi translator, went into the dark web malware. Fentanyl king. The other one's a Russian. And did you find out who bought me in January of 19 that's still having people watch me? Some lady said, did they find out who that guy is that bought her? They talked about him Saturday in Golden Crow. Karen's will that's paying everybody to watch her. He better hunt those men down for what they did to her. We all know she belongs to him. Around January 25th of 2019, some guy off in the distance, I paid 25 grand for her. I paid good money. I want her. You can't have her. We're not done with her yet. But I paid good money for her. You can't have her yet. I went to Faith Family Church in 2020, 2021, something like that, in the summer. I met Danny and Jen at IHOP. I was there early. He was talking to some guy off in the distance. It was packed. Karen looked really nice at church today. When the case is over, she belongs to me. They were talking about him again. They told people in Louisville 19 Karen belongs to Karen's well. No, I don't. I belong to no man. Somebody up in Akron was talking to somebody off in the distance. I know you paid good money for her. Are you paid for her? Look at all these people around her. You might want to think of selling her. Gotta have it. None of this is funny. Thousands of people were taken by these people, and I was left in the middle of the drug cartels. That's where the sheriffs and marshals used the case and got 800 bad guys in one swoop, and then another 160, and a whole bunch more of their men went to jail because they showed up. Announced they worked for a gentleman's club from Florida, Henry Maffei, his group. They were human traffickers or drug traders from California, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, California, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, New York, Buffalo, New York. Pronouncing their crimes under police surveillance in an FBI case, protected home custody for an FBI informant with a court order and with statements. Like they said, her case stands up in court without her. It can't be disputed. And they're confessing all their crimes around me. My phone's tapped from the police. My car's bugged. My house is bugged. And I got a cop recording everything. Hi, guys. Oh, people in Golden Corral, we looked it up. She really did almost die to save children. None of this is funny. I know I did. I almost died to save my family. The police that watch me can't disrespect me in front of them. I almost died to save my family. Dave threatened to kill them all and let him go after me. Get evidence to stop them. And 18 and 19, people showed up from around the nation. And local people, too. That church will not have her killed. And little kids love me. Hi, Karen. Domestic violence shelters wanted me to speak when this was over. They had teenage kids try to fix me up with their dads. Everybody is like, there's that FBI informant. And people wanted to meet me. She's the one living through blah, 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 and almost died to save her family. Until all this crazy crap started. And they got all, like they said, she was part of a really big bus. They better be paying her. I'm going to upload this. I even got him information on Trakasami through Michael Peterson in 21, bragging to me that he's smuggling oil into the U.S. I told him I didn't believe him. So he sent me proof. So I turned him in. Got when he was leaving for Venezuela, where he was staying, the port where the shipment's coming back, and the state where he was selling it to, illegally. Last I heard, he was stuck in Venezuela. The government shut down his credit cards. When the investigators said they called down, asked about his shipment, and it wasn't legit, And Trakasami was smuggling oil out from underneath his government. Got him arrested. I got a terrorist arrested. Like they said, what an accomplishment. One of their informants led to information that got Trakasami arrested. There was a $10 million reward for that. I'll take it. I want my $350,000 too. It's the principal. I earned it. Me and my whole family's retiring. But yeah, they got the sheriffs and marshals blew the hell out of those people last year. Where I met with Maddie, I got a friend on the police department, 2 hours away. And then U.S. Marshals were eating in the restaurants with us that night. They came out and walked out. They announced who they were. We're going to be taking care of this. You know, when you sort of email people and you tell them there's an open FBI case with human traffickers under police surveillance with a court order, they don't want to turn it down. They knew about that case that agent opened with you. They knew about the Texas group involved in your case. And then and all these people involved, and then drills me in front of them until I was stuttering. Get ready to take care of this. And then 3 weeks later, they did an 800 people sweep. They were all caught under police surveillance. I was left in the middle of the cartels. I like my money.